We're honored to have Mr. Mahesh Paranjpe, the CEO of Tata Power Solar, with us today. He has over 23 years of experience, out of which 18 have been in the hydroelectric generation business. He has vast experience in the areas of renovation and modernization of hydroelectric machines and the operation and maintenance of renewables. He is a graduate in electrical engineering from the Government College of Engineering, Pune. Today, Mr. Mahesh Paranjpe will present a talk on integrating RE and alternative energy sources into the grid. So let's welcome Mr. Mahesh Paranjpe.
Thank you. I represent Tata Power Solar, which is the EPC arm of TPREL, and we are into EPC of large projects. We do around 2 to 3 gigawatt of projects every year. We are also into rooftop. We are into solar pumps. We are into microgrids, and we also manufacture modules. So we are in the entire spectrum of renewables. We are also into wind. We have wind assets. We have solar assets, which are run by us, or installed by us. So before we go to the integration issues, let's understand first why we have so much of push in RE now in India. So it's driven by three major things. First is the COP21 discussions and the IND, which we have declared our internally determined target, nationally determined target. And based on that, there is a huge push from the government side to have renewable energy sources. And accordingly, they have also directed the DISCOMs, and the regulators also have accordingly decided the RE contribution in the overall energy mix. We call it as a RE obligation. More than that, what is driving renewables today, and which is a part, if I decide not to talk about global warming, then we have a discussion point around renewables, which is tariff, which is the electricity cost of generation, which is one of the cheapest today, especially for the solar part, we are between 2 rupees 50 paise to 3 rupees per unit today. When we started in 2011, it was at 17 rupees 91 paise or something in that range, and today we are at just 2 rupees 50 paise or around 3, which is one of the cheapest energy source available, and I think that is also driving the growth. And the third thing is, many of the corporates, they have decided RE100 as the target. They have to buy all their energy requirements from a green source. So these are the three major things which are driving renewable development of renewables in India. There are obviously issues attached to it. The biggest issue is seasonality, and it is cyclic in nature. The generation is cyclic in nature. Take example of solar. Obviously, we'll have solar only during the daytime, whereas wind, it is generally because of the southwest monsoon, we have more wind generation in those monsoon months. So there is a seasonality attached to it. It is obviously not as per this generation. The peaks, the demand can be completely different, and that is a major challenge with RE. In the conventional generation, we can actually change our generation pattern to meet the demand pattern. This is not possible in solar and wind. Whenever the sun is shining, we have to generate. Wind is blowing, we have to generate. If we don't generate that point of time, it is all gone with the wind. So this is a challenge, and this challenge can partially be addressed by having hybrid systems like wind and solar hybrid, or wind, solar, and battery hybrid, or wind, solar, and pump storage hybrid, or wind, solar, and thermal hybrid, to have more uniform generation pattern. But all these systems have limitations, and the solution to this is having ancillary systems in our ancillary services in our country, and policy around that probably is what is required today. Many of the grid operators, they have raised concerns now. If the RE contribution into the grid is the small percent, then managing it is easy. But as the percentage go up, we will need ancillary services, which that market has not taken up. Maturity is far away. That market has to start now quickly in India. The second challenge what we face is The transmission connectivity, though PGCIL and others are doing fantastic job, and transmission network is being constructed very fast. Probably some visibility of transmission network as the country wants to build. I think that will give more clarity for the renewable developers where and which geography we should go and when, and how to build renewable assets. Just to give example, one of the best sites for solar generation is Ladakh area, which is a big surprise. We always think it is Rajasthan. Obviously, Rajasthan is a good site because the number of days when we have cloud cover are very very less, and that is why Rajasthan becomes one of the best site. But the temperatures are high, and higher the temperature, the module efficiencies are low, and that is why Ladakh becomes the one of the best site to put up solar plants because the ambient temperature is low and the modules can perform better. And and again, the number of days when cloud cover is there are low, and but there is no transmission network. And when it's going to happen, probably the clarity is not there, and policy around it will definitely help RE generators to build more renewable assets. On the regulatory front, there are good regulations which support renewables, but there are some challenges. For example, wheeling charges in the distribution network. Suddenly, some charges are changed, and then the entire business model goes for a toss. So, some stability on those regulatory fronts will help us. One more example is reactive power compensation. Now, all these years, this particular aspect was not with renewable developers. Though there was a regulation, but it was not enforced that strictly. Now, suddenly, this is being enforced, and there is additional cost attached to it. So, the stability on policies will definitely help us. Ancillary market is what will help us grow renewable faster. Also, there is some perception attached with solar modules that the disposal of solar modules could be an issue. Again, country has to decide how they are going to dispose of the modules. Though it's not a big issue, we can actually recycle almost 80% of solar modules, and that too in a very environmental friendly way. 20% obviously we have to dispose of, but at least 80% we can recycle, and this recycling will help us. And the first major disposal is going to happen only in 2036. It's still we have a lot of time for those major disposals, so we can build business models around it, and India can have policy around it. So the perception of we are damaging environment by producing modules which can't be disposed, I think that also can be corrected. Many of the players, especially corporate players, have that perception that modules will damage environmental more, which is not the fact. I've covered few. I think as we go ahead in the discussion, we can discuss more about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Paranjpe, for your talk on integrating RE and alternative energy sources into the grid.